I'm Archbishop Mark Coleridge, and you are watching Q&A, question and answer for the Catholic leader. There was once a famous old Italian priest who had a great gift for talking to young people, especially university students. And one day he was asked a question by one of the students in a big gathering, and he paused for a moment before he replied, and when he did reply, he said simply, "I see what you see, but I see more." Now that can sound very arrogant, but the spiritual life or spirituality is always about seeing more and more and more, on a journey into a kind of infinite vision, because once you see God, there's no end to what you can see and will see. So at the heart of all spirituality, there is the call to see more, because many people live in a tiny claustrophobic little world where they see only a sliver of what's there, a sliver of reality or the mystery, and they think that's all there is. But there is so much more if we have eyes to see. So our greatest spiritual need is to have eyes that are more and more open, eyes that see more in a society, in a culture where too many people see too little, and they don't think that there's any more out there to be seen. Well, we, the Christians, say there is a vast mystery out there. We only see tiny slivers of it. And we are those who seek to see more and seek to help others see more. That's what the Christian mission is all about, helping others to see with the eye that really sees. But how will we see more? That's the question. The only answer, according to Christianity, is if we listen to the voice of Jesus. Now that may sound strange, but I'm talking about the Jesus who isn't once upon a time, who spoke way back then 2,000 years ago and who's dumb and silent now. That kind of Jesus is no good to anyone, and we all go to the tomb dead blind and dead deaf. I'm talking about the Jesus who's here and now, and whose voice can be heard if you give your ear a chance. So in other words, the greatest spiritual need that you and I have is not some mystical formula or some magical path that I can find in a book in a New Age shop. Our greatest spiritual need, and the greatest spiritual need of the whole human family, I would say, is to meet Jesus again and again and again, and to go more and more deeply into that experience of meeting him, hearing him, listening to him, who is the living word that God provides. So we need to hear the voice of God, and the voice of God comes to us in the voice of Jesus. Once you hear his voice with an open ear, then your eye begins to open and you see everything differently. It's not that it was all there to be seen, but once your eye begins to open, the world becomes vastly mysterious. You become vastly mysterious. You see the truth of God. You see the truth of other people. And you see how magnificent the gift of life really is. Not this tiny claustrophobic experience of boredom where the world becomes a tomb. You see the big picture. And in the end, that means to see God. In his recent letter to us, Pope Francis called The Joy of the Gospel, in other words, once you start to see more, you can understand what joy is. You begin to taste it in the depth of your being. And that's what the spiritual life's all about. It's about joy. Not just fun or getting kicks, but about that deeper, bigger thing that we call joy. So let's listen just for a moment to the words that the Pope has written to us. I invite all Christians everywhere at this very moment to a renewed personal encounter with Jesus Christ, or at least an openness to letting him encounter them. I ask all of you to do this unfailingly each day. No one should think that the invitation is not meant for him or her, because no one is excluded from the joy brought by the Lord, by Jesus. The Lord doesn't disappoint those who take this risk. Whenever we take a step towards Jesus, we come to realise that he's already there, waiting for us with open arms. Now is the time to say to Jesus, Lord, I have let myself be deceived. In 1,000 ways I've shunned your love, but here I am once more. I need you. Save me once again, Lord. Take me once more into your redeeming embrace. So what's your greatest spiritual need? What's mine? The experience of his redeeming embrace.